Adrian, start off the back of last weekend.
Yep.
How's the squad? How are you looking?
Yeah, pretty good. It was a pretty tough game, obviously, against Wigan in that local derby here of the Battle of the Borough, and most of the groups pulled up pretty good. So I think we've had a little bit of a break over the weekend, straight from the game on the long turnaround, and I had a full week's training now. So we'll settle on the squad on our captain's run on Friday.
Kind of one of the heaviest defeats you've had this season, that Wigan game. How come, on the assessment looking back, how come, what kind of happened there? But on the flip side, you have had, or you will have had, 8 or 9 days ahead of the Salford game to get that out of your system and focus ahead. Yeah,
I think I said in the media straight after the game that sometimes matches and performances like that, you can learn a lot from it, and I think there was a lot of good things that we did in that game. And it just shows us that as a group, we're not far off, but there's still a lot of hard work to be done. So, I thought we went with them for a long period of time. I thought scoring first certainly helped us in the game, and I thought Wigan's first 2 half tries were no tries. So, it could have been a completely different story there at half time, and therefore a different second 40 minutes. But better team won on the night, obviously, and we got a lot out of that, mate, to be honest with you. And as a new group, only 7 rounds into a competition, I feel very confident that we'll get a lot out of that game, and moving forward it'll put us in a better position, and hopefully, by the time June, July comes around, that we'll be a different team because of that.
And kind of building on that answer, this weirdly was week 1's fixture. The reverse, it's come round so soon, so quick that you play each other again. Where would you say you're at week 8 compared to week 1? Both good and bad points.
Yeah, I think, as a group, this journey is about the process of developing and improving every week. Our team has completely changed from round 1 to where it is now, but we've also lost Gaz O'Brien. Answering your question from the question you started with, Gaz O'Brien's going to miss this week because of the failed HIA, so it'll be a different starting lineup. But that'll be one position that we were hurt the other night on. But having said all of that, I think the team's in a different place to what we were then. I think we've had a lot of reps as a group to make sure that we play the style of rugby that we want to play, and I think the last 2 months have certainly taught us a lot about ourselves. So moving forward, it's another opportunity here to play together as a group and get the journey on its way. But we know too that Salford have been playing some great rugby, so it'll be a tough game.
Yeah, what have you made to them this season? Clearly, I guess at this point, better than they were this time last season in Super League. A few more wins under their belt, but same record as you.
Yeah, I think they're a team that have got some great individuals in there. I know they may have 1 or 2 that may be in doubt for this week, but what they've always had is a side that have played a similar structure week in, week out, and with the spine that they've got, they can challenge any team on their night. So. They've had 2 pretty tough losses in recent times, but I think both games they could have easily won as well. So, this week's been about us and how we respond to the Wigan performance, and, I'm looking forward to our players stepping up a level.
Yeah, just a quick word on Gaz O'Brien. I know you've touched on it. How big a loss is that?
Yeah, I think Gaz has been sort of overlooked by some people of the rugby league world here in the UK. He's I know we've, Charnley being on that left edge and equaling the try scoring a week ago. Gaz O'Brien's had a big hand in that. He's certainly played a big part in our team and how we've attacked in this first quarter of the season. So he's been very influential with the way that we've scored tries. So, he's going to be missed heavily. Having said that, Zach Hardacre is back in his favourite position and a player that is the ultimate competitor. So 2 different versions of what we get at fullback, and we've just got to make sure we play to suit those players and Zach this week.
And finally, for me, I was listening to all the pre-match stuff ahead of Wigan last week from their side, and I've just been part of the Salford pre-match ahead of this game this week as well. And your son keeps coming up, Lachlan keeps coming up time and time again. I know that it's so difficult for you, but how much pride do you get that his name is coming up week in, week out, that he is, if not a current star, certainly on his way to being a future star of the game?
Yeah, look, Lachlan's played in the NRL on 30-odd occasions on his young career so far. So I understand the talent that he has got, and he's worked very hard to be there. But I've also coached him all his life, so it's something that I'm used to. But I guess the UK fans of rugby league and Super League and are getting a feel of how he plays, and I still think he's got another 3 or 4 levels to step up as a player and to suit the players and work with the players around him. So, you know, I think he's on track to where he wants to be. He's a target for a lot of the teams now because they see his danger that he can create. And, you know, I'm hoping that he, like I said, he keeps improving every week as we go on, as part of the group as well.
Best luck, mate.
Thank you, mate.
Yeah,
Cheers.
Hi, Adrian. Hope you're well.
Hey, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thanks. Just a couple of quick ones. I think most things were covered then. How's Ben after the defeat to Wigan?
Yeah, look, Ben is going to. He's got a sore. Ben Nakabua, you're talking about, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got a small strain of a medial ligament on his knee, and we've just got to make sure that we're going to give him right up until kick-off to be right for the game. So, you know, he is in doubt and probably 60-40 chance of not playing. So we've got to make sure that we give him every opportunity to be fit.
Is that somewhat better news? Because I'm not sure at the time if you said it could have been a month with what you saw just quickly. But so is that better news than you thought? Yeah,
it is better news. But like I said, it's a week. These sort of injuries are a week to week. You know, like he might get through on Friday and we go, yeah, he's okay to play. But sometimes these injuries go from 1 week into 2 weeks into a third week. So we're hoping that we can manage that. But it's all based off how he responds to training on captain's run.
You gave plenty of praise there for Gareth O'Brien. You said it'll be a big miss. And you mentioned Josh Charnley. I think he's been nominated for Super League Player of the Month last month. How much of an influence has he had on the side? How impressed have you been with him so far this season?
Yeah, well, Josh has been outstanding for us. He came to us halfway through last year and was not in a really good place with rugby league and in his life and a little bit of a downer. But, you know, we found that love back for him and the way that he's trained throughout pre-season. I would question potentially the best in all the Super League. I know what he's done for us, and you know, he's left no stone unturned in his preparations to the Super League for this year. And you know, I think he's been outstanding. And you know, best wishes to him and the club for him on potentially winning this month's Player of the Month.
Sean Wayne, England boss, said that he'll reward players in form with appearances. Obviously, they play France in a couple of weeks. Josh is only, I think, 31. Ryan Hall played in the last World Cup at 35. Would you back Josh as one of the informed wingers to get a recall? I think last time he represented England was 2014.
Yeah, absolutely. The way that he's playing at the moment is as good as any. I think he's in the top 3 stats for a winger or for any player with metres gained, carries, post metres, tries. He's up there with all of the top 2 or 3 stats in the game at the moment, which would represent that probably deserves an opportunity to get another crack back in that position. So, you know, he's got to keep maintaining that through this. He's certainly started the season on the right foot, and again, I think he can only get better as well.